With all the turnover happening at Hallis Hall, you knew that there were going to be some things that Ben Johnson and his coaching staff wanted to see changed. And Albert Breer dropped a very interesting nugget on what they want to see Caleb Williams be able to go out there and do early on, some of the early concerns that they need addressed. We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning into the content. If you could, take a second before we get into the football talk and hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. This is the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks, so make sure that you get in tune with us, man. And if you ain't done so, drop a bear down in the comments right now. I need a big bear down in the comments right now. Let's start it off here because I do think this is very interesting what we heard from Albert Breer on the young quarterback Caleb Williams and what they want to see from him heading into the second season here. And one of the concerns that was brought up around Caleb Williams, and they did this by showing him film, was some of the body language things that a lot of times can get overlooked here. Breer reported that body language and pre-snap procedures are areas of focus with the Bears quarterback, especially coming into this season. He said, while the coaches understood the beating he took, they showed film to emphasize how he'd been slow to pull himself up off the ground, which we did see that a couple of times last season. And I think where a lot of people are looking at that, they're going to say, especially, listen, I'm one. You get hit 68 times. Eventually, you start getting up a little bit slower, right? You're taking a beating out there. But that does not go over the Chicago Bears coaching staff's head. Breer goes on to say, it was a long year. People got fired in season and in adverse circumstances, the staff explained. Having a quarterback who was rolling with the punches would go a long way. On the latter, there were a smattering of small things, like on the first play of one game, he turned to his left thinking motion was coming when it was actually coming from the right that needed to be cleaned up. And I think here's the thing, right? We saw this a good chunk last season, and it's all about the optics of being a leader, right? There were moments where Caleb Williams is getting his head absolutely kicked in. Y'all know I do the freaking the picture all of the time, right? Where it's the laughing picture of Luke Getsy. Yeah, you got your head taken off there, didn't you? I mean, like, those are the moments where you kind of look at and you go, you kind of understand why this young man is getting up slow, or why he's taking his time, or why maybe he's not feeling the best after a play, and so it takes him a second to get up. And a lot of people looked at that and said, hey, those are things you can't do when you're the leader of a team. Those are bad optics for you when you're the leader of a team. And while I do agree, and I do think that is something that Caleb Williams is it's going to be something beneficial for him to work on. I think that's a lot to expect from a rookie in the situation he was in last year. But fast forwarding to this season, I love the fact that the coaches are bringing this to his attention, because you are, no matter what, and we can always say, oh, you don't have to be the leader. You have to be at that quarterback position, the leader of the team. How the QB handles adversity on the field is going to matter in the long run for this team. And that is why the coaches are trying to nip this in the bud right now. Now, when it goes to, the body language things, I think that's one thing. I love the fact that they bring up the pre-snap issues as well. There were a ton of those last season. They bring up the misdirection at the opening of one game. I think there were times where, Caleb Williams was trying to diagnose what he was seeing, and he thought he was seeing something, and he changes the play at the line, and it just didn't work out for him because he didn't actually know what he was seeing or what he was looking at. I think that plays a big part. That whole film study thing, I think, plays a massive part into why we saw from Caleb Williams some of the pre-snap or some of the mental mistakes that we saw last season. And when you you pair those two things up, I do think it's going to be very important for the body language and the pre-snap procedure to be on point. It's funny, in one of the articles that was talking about this, they put in the Cam Newton, a piece from Cam Newton, where he was really talking about Shedeur Sanders in this, but he was talking about how the starting QB is essentially the CEO of this entire process. Every move that you make is symbolic. Every move that you go out there or every bit of film that you put on display is going to be something that is going to go towards, okay, how does the team, how do the players, how is everyone else going to respond in these moments? And what he said, I thought that was very key, was that the small details equal big leadership moments. And so because of that, right, you look at this Caleb Williams situation, and there were a bunch of moments where it's just like, my God, can we just get there? Can we just finish this out? Can we just get to the end? And I'm not saying that that's all on Caleb. I mean, listen, the guy was under a tremendous amount of pressure last season to go out there and be successful. And there was a tremendous amount of pounding put on his body. I understand that that's a pause right there. That was crazy. But there's no other way to say it. This guy was getting killed all season. And so while, yes, those moments did happen, and I understand why those moments happen, and you understand why the coaching staff, or I think the coaching staff understands why those moments happen. But I also understand why the coaching staff brings them up, because if you can be, I don't know if you guys remember, but there's a clip out there where somebody is talking about Andrew Luck, and I want to say it's Ray Lewis, but I may be wrong on that. And they're talking about, you know, when you're going through film and you're talking about all these players and, okay, well, if you hit this guy, he's going to be gone. Or if you make this move here, this guy's going to be down. And if you do this right, you'll get him out his mindset. He won't play the game. And then when Andrew Luck came up, they were like, this dude's a whole different beast right here. Every time you hit him, he gets up, he'll congratulate you, and he'll find a way to start playing better. It's like he thrives from the beating that he's taking. Now, do I want Caleb Williams to be in an Andrew Luck situation? Heck no. But I think that mindset that Andrew Luck had of, I know the optics. I know if I get up and I don't show that you're beating me, then my team won't feel defeated in the moments where I need them to get themselves up and give that little bit of extra that they need to go out there and give. I think those are the moments where you look at Caleb Williams and you say, if you add that in with some of the games that we had last season and learning from all of that, what kind of response are you going to get, not from Caleb Williams, but from the team as a whole? They know what Caleb went through last season. They were in defense of Caleb, while Caleb was defending the offensive line that basically got him absolutely eviscerated on every other play. And their time, I love this too, right? I love the understanding of what Caleb was going through and then saying, hey, but on these times, you effed up. It's not your offensive line. On this switch, you shouldn't have shifted them left. You effed up. You thought the pressure was coming a completely different direction. You thought you were going to get a completely different play coming your way, and it didn't happen. You effed up. So it's not just, we want to see the body language get fixed. You put a smile on your face as you're getting killed. It's, hey, we want to see the body language get fixed, but also here's how you fix these moments where you put yourself in a position for you to have bad body language because you effed up. And I think that's going to be ever so important in all of this. And I'll tell you what, coming up here, I got to talk about the best part of all of this from what Albert Breer said. But I do want to know how you guys feel in the comments below. Let me know. Do you like the fact that the coaching staff is kind of coming at this in two different directions? It's let's fix the body language, but also, hey, let's teach you how to play the game so that you understand to not put yourselves in these moments. Does it feel like you're getting a coaching staff that's a real coaching staff? Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. What I love about all of this is we kind of get back into the story and hit that like button if you haven't done so. What I love about all of this, drop a bear down for Caleb Williams, is the response from the scout on the inside or whoever it was, the NFL personnel guy on the inside that was talking with Caleb on this, is that Caleb has embraced all of this feedback positively. He's taken it all in. He's allowing himself to go, okay, these moments, it may be nothing I can do about it, but these moments I need to fix this. but he's also putting in the work. See, the thing that I love is, right, we heard week after week after week, oh yeah, we got this kind of figured out. We're going to figure this out. We're going to make this happen. But you couldn't see the work going into actually figuring out what the issue was. What they've said is that not only has Caleb taken this feedback positively, but he has worked closely with veteran QB Case Keenum outside of practice to improve on these things, not only just the body language situation, but also being able to improve upon the understanding, the diagnosis, which is why Case Keenum is here, which is why I love the signing to go out and get Case Keenum. We all say you don't need the veteran QB. You can go get the young guy. It's all you need, right? But then in these moments where we hear coming out of the season, this young man didn't know how to watch tape when he was by himself. That's where a Case Keenum comes in. That's where a Case Keenum helps this team, in my mind, dramatically as kind of that player coach, that coach on the field, where you can say, this is what you need to be looking for here. Okay, this is a scenario that you were in. I've been in this scenario. I was in this scenario in Minnesota. Here's how you navigate this, right? Like having somebody to teach you not just the on the field stuff as well, but also somebody who was the face of a franchise for at least the season in Case Keenum. And you have to have the good face. You have to put a smile on your face. You have to go out there and be the leader of this team, so to speak, no matter the situation that you're currently in. And can we say that every moment was perfect for Caleb Williams last season? No, we can't. And so I think that having Case Keenum just adds to that. In a second half of a season where Caleb Williams was really good, I think those were some of the things that we did see continue to pop up. And I mean, he was really good finishing out last season. When you talk about 1,500 yards, when you look at the second half of the season, 1,525 yards, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception in his final 7 games. He played really, really good football, but those moments continued to pile up. The misdiagnosis, not being on the same page as the wide receivers you have. That's where I think that Caleb Williams working with Case Keenum is going to be an absolute benefit to this young man moving forward. And hopefully it's something that we see actually pay dividends on the field, not just as the guy who's going out there and being able to put up 300 yards, 3 touchdowns a game, 1 interception every now and then, right? I'll give them that. And of course, right, I'm speaking it into existence here, but being able to be the guy who now with the offensive help that you have of Ben Johnson, who understands what it's like to call an offense over there. You've added a couple more wide receivers to this team in Luther Burden, and I'm calling Colston Loveland a wide receiver. I know he's a tight end, but I'm calling him a wide receiver. You've upgraded the offensive line. Hey, now these guys who, most of them, veterans, veteran pieces, veteran players, guys who have been in the league, guys who know a lot, are looking to you to be the guy. I love the fact that you have Case Keenum in here as well to help him through that. And I think that's going to be big for the Bears moving forward. And listen, the Bears are going to judge Caleb Williams not just by his stats, but by how he's commanding this team, by his leadership, by his poise in certain situations. And I think we saw this a ton last season where it felt like Caleb Williams was in the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams' fourth quarter numbers are elite among the quarterback class. It's something that you love to see and you feel good about coming into this season with a quarterback who had some struggles through the first 3 quarters, but those fourth quarter numbers look phenomenal. All right, now let's get everything right early on. Let's come out. There were times last season where even Caleb Williams said, we didn't come out with the right mindset, and that's on me to start this game. You can't have those moments as the leader of this team. And I think that's the thing Chicago Bears are really hoping to see Caleb Williams improve upon this season. Love hearing this from Albert Breer. Love hearing the response from Caleb Williams. I do want to know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Do you think that these things are things that are going to linger into the season? Or do you think this coaching staff helps Caleb Williams nip this right in the bud? In that rookie year, that was a tough rookie year. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.